Hey there, everybody. This is Cholera, and I am back for a couple more commentaries. I was out west in the mountains where there was no internets for the last week or so on a trip, and I'm happy to be back. I'm going to be casting here sort of a warm-up game showcasing two players who I rarely commentate anymore, or have ever really commentated very often. This is Oversky versus TheROCK. Recommended by some of my fans. This was played quite a long time ago in June in the Pro League. Of course, this is not a really significant game to be watching now, but I'm sure most of you have not caught this game. I certainly have not, but I heard it was funny, and I heard there was some fail going on here. And if you guys watch my commentaries, you know I love to see epic fail, especially when it comes from players like TheROCK, who always smells defeat coming up against Zerg players. Very often he does, and you know, like, best example, of course, TheROCK versus JulyZerg on the way up for JulyZerg when he won that OSL. That was obviously hilarious to watch. He did not do too well. I don't think I've watched TheROCK play since then, so you know, really I don't have the highest opinions of him. He plays for Wemade Fox. He's kind of gets relatively far at times in the Star Leagues, but really never succeeds. He's kind of like Backhoe, but even worse. And meanwhile, we have Oversky, a sort of temperamental player on Air Force Ace. I feel like he has a lot of potential still, even at his older ages, because he is so much of an unorthodox player. But we're going to see what happens. Looks like we're going to see a 9-pool here from Oversky, by the way, on Heartbreak Ridge. And I'm getting louder because we're not seeing a Forge coming from TheROCK. TheROCK looks like he's going to be cooking some randomness here. What is he doing? Is he? I think he's going to go 14 Nexus, but before that, what the hell is he doing here? He's got 2 pylons. He's built a pylon followed by a pylon, and he's going to go for a Forge after the second pylon. I guess he's going to try to do some kind of weird cannon in against Oversky. But Oversky, meanwhile, has gone for a 9-pool with gas. This is a 9-pool speed Zergling build. I can't think that he's going to be very susceptible to this, especially if he moves out anytime with a drone. He's going to obviously try to take down that cannon, but looks like we've got these proxy cannons warping in right now. A second Forge going in from TheROCK. So TheROCK is smelling some stinky cheese here on Heartbreak Ridge, and it might turn out to be successful, because look at this. The second Forge is now blocking the entrance entirely. Lings may not be able to get there, and Oversky is going to be in for a surprise. WTF, says Oversky, but no! Epic failure coming from TheROCK. Oh, look at TheROCK. Look at TheROCK. Oh, man. Oh, God, that was horrible. He had to cancel 3 buildings there, each of them 150 minerals, and he's going to have a dead pylon. So basically, TheROCK has basically shot himself in the foot 3 times. It almost worked, too. I mean, it might have worked had, well, I mean, I'm just trying to think what kind of build that would have worked against, because obviously a 12 hatch would have spotted all that going on. I guess maybe like an overpull or something, or a 9-pool where Oversky just didn't get there fast enough. I guess that could have worked if Oversky was slower, but Oversky wasn't. And Oversky's in TheROCK's base, by the way. TheROCK obviously has to start with a 1-base strategy. He's put down 2 gateways. Meanwhile, Oversky is going to go put down his expansion. Oversky definitely with the advantage at this point. He doesn't have a, you know, a real econ build to start off with, but I mean, compared to having to cancel as much as TheROCK did, obviously he's in a better situation here. And meanwhile, TheROCK is going to be playing 1 base against 2 base. Not an impossible situation, but usually not one you want to be in when you are behind in tech also, like TheROCK is. So we'll see what he can do here against Oversky, who kind of has him in like a chokehold at this point. You know, about to go do some kind of suplex to him. Yes, I am making random wrestling references. I don't really watch professional wrestling, so I have no idea what they do. But looks like we've got ourselves in a simulator that might be going down. First Zealot out for TheROCK, 2 Zealots out for ROCK. Oversky doing some nice micro here, very nice micro from Oversky. I gotta say, I like that play. And looks like Oversky is not committed to speed just yet, or he hasn't gotten it just yet. Finally, he does catch the probe, though. That is not a Bisu probe. Not able to survive forever. And meanwhile, we've got a lair going up for Oversky and 3 Zealots out for TheROCK. I don't think it's going to work, though. Oversky's done a good job of keeping all 5 of those Lings alive. I'm actually really impressed. They managed to do some damage to the simulator, and none of them died yet. Meanwhile, TheROCK does not want to get surrounded here. He is attacking right now. I don't think this is gonna. This is just not gonna work out well for TheROCK. I mean, Oversky has gotten layer up, 3 hatcheries, 2 base. So yeah, I mean, TheROCK. Geez, what can I say? I mean, he's just not the. He's a fun player to watch, but he's not the best player in the world. I don't see him coming up with a great answer to this unless Oversky makes some kind of some big mistake. Meanwhile, we've got Oversky going for a Hydralisk Den. Interesting. He's not choosing Expand again, notice that. I think that's a smart move because he knows TheROCK is probably going to have to do some kind of rush here, and he doesn't want to leave an opening. You know, if he overexpanded, he might lose to Mass Zealots. But I don't think this is going to work because, I mean, look at this. Oversky has spotted 5 Zealots. He's going to know that there's a likely Citadel of Adun coming up next. So we'll see what TheROCK has cooking here. I think it's just going to be defeat, though. We've got a Hydralisk Den, perhaps for Lurkers. That would be a good tech. We've got Speed finished and some Dragoons out for TheROCK. Why do you have Dragoons? I have no idea. But he's built 2 Dragoons, and without range upgrade, he's just going to get them maybe just to kill an Overlord, but that's really not the best use of your resources at this point. You really, at one base, need to conserve, man. And these 2 Dragoons are not cost-effective at all. Looks like we don't have a Spire going down, by the way. I think we may have had a Spire, but it was cancelled. Meanwhile, TheROCK has got himself surrounded with one of his precious Zealots. It goes down after taking just 1 Ling. 2 Dragoons moving out. What is going on? Man, TheROCK is cooking suck right now. And Oversky is Oversky is just schooling him, basically, with, like, Lings only. And TheROCK now is a Templar Archive, still 1 base. Oversky continuing to improve his economy, putting down a sunken colony there, just in case. I mean, TheROCK is not going to have +1. He's not going to have an expansion up for quite a while. We're going to see what Oversky's tech choice is. It's interesting. He hasn't really shown it yet, whatever he's going with the Hydras. And he's just building lots of drones, I guess, really trying to solidify his advantage. Although I would expect some Lurkers out or some Speed Hydras, at least. Couple cannons up for TheROCK. They're showing them because they're not going to be very useful for him, as Oversky is not committed to the air. But of course TheROCK has no way of knowing that because he's gone for a horrendous build that doesn't involve Corsairs. So it looks like Oversky once again faking us out there with a drone. He's just faking out the observers. He's actually playing kind of oddly here, I guess. I'd expect more units out from him instead of just going straight econ, but and also not expanding, because when you go econ you usually expand. So interesting. He's got Speed Hydras. Perhaps he went for the double Hydralisk upgrades, and he's going to try to transition to that. But I am expecting more units to come out from him. Probe's going to try to sneak through and get a look at something. Oversky looks like